Hello everyone, this is Grade 3, Module 7, Lesson 10 homework. The directions state for the number 1, trace the perimeter of the shapes below. The perimeter of the shape is the distance, measure, or boundary around the outside of the shape. So for this first one, I'm just going to trace the outside, around the outside. And when I think of perimeter, I think of like fence. We put fence around the outside of property, not on the inside. So this is the perimeter, and I'll do one more. This arrow down here. Again, perimeter is around the outside of the shape, or the boundary of the shape. I like the outside. So there's 2 of them done, so you know what perimeter means. And then when it says explain how you know you trace the perimeters of the shapes below. Well, it's getting the definition in there, saying that you trace the distance around the outside of the shape or the boundary of each shape. That's considered the perimeter. And there's my explanation right there. I know I trace the perimeter of each shape because the perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. The last part, B, says explain how you could use a string to figure out which shape above has the greatest perimeter. What I would do with this is I would take the string and I would lay it on these shapes. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go up here and do the arrow again. If this were my string, I would lay it here. And then I would take that string off and I would measure it and see the distance of it. And then I would take a string and lay it on the perimeter of this shape, and then take it off the shape and measure it and see which one was longer. And I would do that for each of those 4. So that's how I would figure out which shape has the greatest perimeter. So I'm going to leave that to you to put that down into your own words, or if you have a different explanation that works, that's where you're going to write it there for B. Let's take a look at page 2. And for number 2, it says, draw a rectangle on the grid below. So I'm drawing a rectangle, any size. A says, trace the perimeter of the rectangle. I'm going to do that in a different color. I'll do that in red. So I'm tracing the perimeter, which is the distance around the outside, or the distance or measure of the outside or boundary. So A is good. B says shade the area of the rectangle. And I know the perimeter is the outside, the distance around it. Area is the measure of the inside. And we use square units for that. So it could be square inches, square feet, whatever units we're talking about, they're in square form. And C says, how is the perimeter of the rectangle different from the area of the rectangle? And I know this because the perimeter is the distance around the outside, or the boundary of the shape, and the area is the measure of the inside of the shape. And there's my my explanation, my 2 definitions right there that I'm using. So again, the perimeter is the distance around the outside of the shape, or the boundary of the shape, and the area is the measure of the inside of the shape in square units, or the space inside. So for 3, I'll read this part, we'll talk quick, and then I'll let you figure this one out. Maya draws the shape shown below. Noah colors the inside of Maya's shape as shown. So Noah colors this one in, and I'll go over kind of what Noah did. Except his probably looks a little neater than mine. Noah says he colored the perimeter of Maya's shape. Maya says Noah colored the area of her shape. Who is right? So what we need to do is explain or state who is correct. Noah said he colored the perimeter of the shape, and we know that perimeter is right here. That's the definition. Is the distance around the outside. And Maya says that he colored the area. which is the inside of the shape. So my coloring here in red shows the inside of the shape. That's what Noah colored. So that'll kind of help you out and give you an idea of which person was correct in this. And you're going to want to put it in statement form because it says explain your answer. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the rest of your homework.